Well, now, let there be no doubting what's the most talked about program on British television. Well, Blankety Blank's not running at the moment. It's a racy tale told 'neath steely Texan skies, a tale of the Ewing family, old Jock and Miss Ellie. Bobby, the wet. Pam, the lovely, who wears more clothes in bed than on the street. Lucy, the poisoned dwarf. Sue Ellen, moist-lipped, doe-eyed, and drunk. Oh, there's a host of others. There's Alan Beam, who wears a hearthrug on his chest. There's Cliff Barnes, who hates the Ewings, and his father Digger, who used to look like David Wayne, but now bears a striking resemblance to Keenan Wynn. Probably plastic surgery. It's a seamy, sordid story of love and hate and greed, venality, illegitimacy, adultery, bribery, corruption, and neurofibromatosis. Is it any wonder it's so popular? Above and beyond all this petty sideshow, straddling the series like a colossus, is one monumental character, J.R. Easy, man, you'll get your chance. I have a verse or two here that's been penned by someone from Bournemouth. Who's running to fat in a 10-gallon hat? And a big $5 cigar. Likes a real high life with a lush for a wife. You got it, pal. J.R. Yet whose minds are blowing when Dallas is shown, at keeping you from the bar, as your eyes grow bigger watching Cliff and Old Digger and that son of a bitch, J.R. J.R. Ewing, ladies and gentlemen, Larry Hagman. I thought Frank Hall was the king of milking an audience, but give us one of those leering grins.
You got it.
Now I know, Larry, from the thousands of letters I get, that smile makes the blood of millions of women run cold, and it makes the blood of millions more run hot. What kind of reaction do you get from women in letters from women you meet in the street?
Just wonderful. I don't understand any of this. It's just beyond me. I'm a little long in the tooth for this kind of a sex symbol thing.
How much of you is in JR?
Well, I don't think any of this is really me. I don't even know where I am right now. I don't know. I was brought up in Texas. Last 2 years of high school, and my daddy was on a retainer fee, oil. He was a lawyer to a lot of oil men, and I met a lot of these dudes down there, and I just kind of incorporated them into the character that I'm wearing around right now.
But it'd be a compilation of a lot of characters that you've met. You've never met anybody like JR, have you?
Oh, sure have. I met a lot of them. Everybody down in Dallas says, now, you know that's not true. Honestly, if you put the real characters of what Texas is about on television, they wouldn't allow it on, at least not on American television. Probably the BBC would do anything.
But can you walk in safety through the streets of Dallas?
Well, you don't walk in Dallas. Well, I'm not kidding you. It's just too far between where you're going to go and where you've been. So you have the car pick you up. It takes you wherever you're going to go. You know.
Did you expect the kind of reception that you got here in Britain when you arrived?
No, I didn't. I've never experienced anything quite like that in my life, as a matter of fact.
Because I know you'd thought that you could walk around the streets, just as you used to when you were in the chorus here, and nobody would recognize you.
Yeah. He's not kidding. I played at Drury Lane with my mother in South Pacific. I was in the chorus of that and sang There's Nothing Like a Dame. How many years ago? 1952? Before most of you were born out there, that's for sure.
We've got some JR jokes for you. I'll tell you how.
Okay.
I mean, we've had elephant jokes. We've had Frank Hall, who is an Irish joke. And a man called Max Hodes in a Scottish paper started a JR joke, the joke world of JR. What's JR's favorite dance? The twist.
You mean with the knife in the back? That
Right.
kind of thing?
Why is JR a good listener? Because he's all ears. Why does JR wear 2 watches? He's a 2-timer. What's JR's favorite game? Leapfrog. He wants to stay 1 jump ahead. I'll bequeath that to you.
Oh, thank you. I can use that.
Because that's a sign you've arrived. Do you find that the character takes you over at all? I mean, do you ever find yourself saying now, in a difficult situation, how would JR react to this?
Yeah, all the time.
And how do you?
Just like I am right now.
Yeah. But you're too, actually, you've got, the eyes are too kind to be JRs,
Yeah,
really.
I suppose
You're a
that's
bit
what it is,
soft.
yeah.
Do they? Oh, I don't know, though. Do you have to have vicious makeup?
Yeah, I got it on right now.
Can you tell me about the... We noticed in Dallas certain inconsistencies about the thing. For instance, last week, my listeners wrote to me and said, we noticed that the poisoned dwarf was sitting about in a swimsuit and Pam got out of the car in a fur coat. You'd think they'd get that right, wouldn't you?
Well, what's wrong with that? I mean, you talk about Texas. I mean, everybody wears a fur coat. I tell you, my stepmother keeps the house so cold in the summer that if it was the winter, she'd have the heat on. I'm not kidding you. I mean, and people wear fur coats all the time. That's what they're for, isn't it?
Yeah. And all the spotless Stetsons and the squeaky clean jeans. Nobody ever seems to get dirty on Dallas, do they?
No, no. I mean, in real Dallas, they don't get dirty either. You know, I mean, I live down there 2 months out of the year. And
Well, do you do the filming down in South Fork Ranch itself?
yeah, we're going down there in June, and we shoot like parts of 12 shows down there, the exterior
Little
parts.
bits from each show.
Yeah, right. And then you have to go back to California and shoot the other parts of that 12 shows. And it's interesting for an actor to do, you know, walk out of a room smiling and happy and everything and try to remember how you walked into the next room, you know, 12 weeks later. But we do it.
How is the character developed? Or has he been venal and nasty from the beginning? I detect that he's got a little bit more nasty as the series has gone on.
Well, I don't know. My wife and I were in New York. We're going to go do a show. My mother, I don't know. You all know my mother's Mary Martin? Do you all know that out there? Yeah,
yes, in
okay.
fact, we all take a very poor view that a son of Mary Martin is behaving in flagrante delicto with a daughter of Bing Crosby.
Well, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, I'll tell you that. Anyhow, I got a couple of scripts, and one was a half-hour comedy, which I like to do. It's a lot harder work than the stuff I'm doing right now, but I was reading that, and she was reading Dallas, and I was about 15 pages into this very dull script, and I heard a whoop from the other room. She says, "This is it. This is the one. We got it." And I said, "What is it?" She says, "It's called Dallas." And there's not one nice redeeming character in the whole script. And in that one, Mama was a bastard and Daddy was terrible. And I mean, everybody was just an awful person. And so it's just kind of filtered down to me now.
Do you think JR has any redeeming features? Has he any good points in his character? Are you going to try and bring out in the next series the nice parts of JR?
Yeah. I mean, deep down, he's a warm, charming, kind, reverent. Well, he is. I mean, he's just taking care of business, you know. Just looking after the family, taking care of business. That's what all Texas people do. That's what all English people do, too, if you look close, real close.
How could he be as nasty as he is with a mother like Miss Ellie?
Well, she's not too smart. I mean, she's kind, but not real smart, you know. She forgives anything, you know. I mean, I'm her eldest son, and she'll go along with just about anything I do and does.
In fact, she's going to take, in a spin-off series, your second brother, whom I know you don't like. You like him even less than Bobby, right?
Well, it's not that I don't like him, it's I don't like him around.
Are you trying to get rid of Bobby as well?
Well, as a matter of fact, in this latest show, I get rid of old Bob, yes. He's not too smart either, Steve. Nice, but not smart.
And the women all seem to be neurotic, don't they? I mean, Pam's frigid, Sue Ellen's an alcoholic, and the Poison Dwarf's an nymphomaniac. Why are there no good parts for women in Dallas?
You don't call that good parts?
We notice a few anomalies from time to time. Even the poor English viewer notices that, for instance, when you go to meet Alan Bean in a secret meeting, you meet at Route 27, which is about 2,000 miles away from Dallas because it's in Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
How'd you do that?
Well, we filmed that segment in Los Angeles, see.
But do the American public pick you up on things like that?
If they do, they don't say anything about it. I mean, they just kind of go along with it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a bit early for you to gauge what the British audience's reaction to Dallas would be.
Oh, no, it's not. I've been here almost 6 hours now. I can tell how they like it.
But, you know, would you say the reaction is any different to the American audience's reaction? Do they look at it in a more critical way here?
Well, like I say, I've only been here 6 hours, and I've only met you and about 30,000 photographers, so I really can't gauge it, except for those folks out there, and they seem to like it all right.
I don't know. They booed you when you came in.
Good.
Who did shoot you?
I don't know. You know I got shot?
Somebody said you got shot.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, the last show, I don't know, have you seen the part where I hit the oil strike in Southeast Asia?
Yes.
And I'm a billionaire. And
everybody was delighted for you.
Oh, wasn't that nice?
Yeah.
I like it. Well, well, my foreman comes to me and he says, JR, we're in big trouble. He says, there's going to be a coup d'etat over there and they're going to nationalize the oil industry. So I figure out real quick I got to bail out. So I get all those old oil cartel boys that refuse to help me with the original investment. I say, look here, boys, I got to have some cash flow real quick. And so I'm going to have to get rid of 75% of my oil holdings over there in Southeast Asia, and I'm going to sell it for $10 million a point. And like dummies, they buy it, right? So I'm sitting there, and as soon as those checks clear, sure enough, they pull the plug out, and they're sitting there with an empty bag, and I got $750 million. Well, one of those old boys just can't take it, you know, and he commits suicide, and his wife comes after me with a gun. And then I'm trying to put, I'm successful in putting Sue Ellen into the sanitarium again, where she belongs, of course. And she comes after me with the gun. And then Bobby finds out that this terrible deal I did, all my poor old friends, you know, they're businessmen, they deserve it. And, sorry, businessmen, sorry. And so he asked Daddy, do you approve of this? And Daddy says, well, hell yes, that's good business, boy. And
don't tell us any more.
Oh, wait a minute, it goes on and on. Hell yes. So Bobby takes off, and Mama's all, she's concerned about the whole thing. And let's see, 2 other guys from the cartel. So anyhow, I have 6 guys with identical 38s. That makes a good plot point, because when I get shot, they're going to have to pull those bullets out of me, you know, and find out that it's all 38 calibers, make it complicated for next year and all that. Do you follow this at all?
No.
So anyhow, I'm sitting there about 3 o'clock in the morning in the office having a drink, and I hear the door open, and I look over, and I say, who's there? And a hand comes in. You don't see if it's male or female hands. And 2 shots ring out, and I get it right in the tummy. And that's it for this year.
Will you live?
Well, I tell you, they're going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble if I don't.
You weren't always a nasty piece of work, though, were you? I mean, I remember you in I Dream of Jean.
Yeah, real nice.
They liked you better in that.
Did they?
Well, that woman did over there. It's probably your mother.
I'm all.
But Jeannie, in fact, couldn't show her navel, could she?
No. No. As a matter of fact, three most asked questions I have the answers to. Three answers. The first answer is yes, Barbara Eden is as beautiful off stage as she is on.
I didn't ask that.
Well, I understand, but I'm going to give you the answers anyhow.
Uh-huh.
And the second answer was yes, she does have a navel. And the third answer is no, I never did.
I think you live this part of JR because we get a lot of articles in the press about your behavior off screen.
Lies.
In fact, people were expecting you to come on here dressed as a gorilla because I know you've done that.
Well, I do happen to have a gorilla suit, yes. On dull days, I walk around. I was passing a theater, a little amateur theater, about 10 years ago, and they were having their sale of costumes to raise money so they could keep open like all small theaters do, you know. And I was going by my motor scooter, and I saw a gorilla outfit hanging up there, so I said, how much? And they said, we want $20 for that. So I bought it. Well, it's kind of a magenta. Somebody sprayed it kind of magenta color, you know, and so I was given a birthday party for a friend of mine, Peter Fonda. He's a good buddy of mine, so nobody had ever given him a birthday party, so I decided to give him one. And I was the watchman at the door because you didn't, his kind of parties, you don't want any police coming in or anything. So I put my gorilla outfit on and I was out there and we were, well, it was a long night is what it was. And so I found myself asleep in the front yard there in my gorilla outfit about 10 o'clock in the morning next day. It was a Sunday, and down in a kind of quiet part of the town, and I had a terrible throbbing in the head. So I got his bicycle, and I was going to go up and get a milkshake. I always find that's good for a hangover, you know. So I was going, pedaling along, having a good time, throbbing away, and feeling just awful. And I got my bicycle, the wheels caught in kind of a groove in the road, and it fell over on the side. And there was nobody around for hundreds of miles. I mean, I looked up and down, I hurt my knee, and and I looked up, and there was a policeman standing right on top of me with and in America, we got those big old things go around like that on top of the car. So he just looked down at me, and he couldn't think of anything to say. There was a gorilla laying in the middle of the street. And he just shook his head and got in the car and drove off. And I was figuring, what was he going to book me for, impersonating a gorilla on a Sunday morning or something like that?
You don't talk on a Sunday morning, do you?
No, I don't. That was another thing that kind of dumbfounded him, because it was a non-speaking gorilla lying there.
Can nothing make you speak on a Sunday?
Oh, well, sure. Some sort of emergency with my children and my wife or something like that. Of course, I'll react to that, but generally I don't talk on Sundays. And as you can see, everybody in my family is very grateful.
People said you went to your sister-in-law's a wedding that your sister-in-law was throwing.
No, my sister.
Your sister?
My sister's wedding, yeah. Well, it happened to fall on a Sunday, and I just wasn't speaking that day, so I just kind of laid out. Confounded her in-laws, let me tell you that.
And what about your reputation to be a practical joker on the set?
Well, oh, really? I hadn't heard that.
Well, they say that sometimes you upset that nice Bobby with them.
Oh, Patrick? Oh, hell, nothing going to upset that boy. No. I don't know. We just have a lot of fun. It's a real close unit. We work as an ensemble group, and I wish I could stop talking this Texas talk. It's just awful.
Is that a Texas accent?
I don't know anymore.
He is taking you over, you see.
Well, I am from Texas originally anyhow, but I've just come today from San Antonio, where the Alamo is, you know. And, oh, I got a gift for you, as a matter of fact, from the people in the Alamo.
Good
I
Lord.
got a little something
it's
for you.
Not,
Thank you.
It's not Davy Crockett's hat, is it?
No, this is the Lost Texan Survival Kit here.
Oh. Actually, I had something for you, too, that somebody sent in, which was this.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Look at there.
JR for president.
Frankly, I don't think I could take the cut in salary right now.
Do you know, given the fact that
Can you get that open? I got
that
a knife. Oh, God.
presidential candidates are fairly thin on the ground in America, you might have a chance, don't you think?
You know, I think I just might.
Are you?
Like I said, I couldn't really afford it.
Are you one of those actors who's going to come out in favor of one of the other candidates? I mean, are you politically
No, I know nothing about
committed?
politics. Anybody that accept my endorsement doesn't deserve to be president. I'll tell you that right now.
What's all this?
Well, it goes on and on and on. There's a little thing there for you.
Good Lord. This is pretty dashed exciting, Larry.
Oh, yes. Isn't that wonderful?
Look at that. White Wings flour tortilla mix.
Yeah, yeah.
My wife is in the audience. Helen, perhaps you could start now, and we'll hand that over.
But here's the one I really want to give you. That's deep in the heart of Texas there.
What's that, off the ranch foreman's boot?
It has a little, yeah, it has a little thing on the bottom.
Yes, Texas bullshit.
You can get away with that out here in Fantasyland, can you?
No, we're both off the air. I must say, it's most lifelike. You don't think it's the real thing. No artificial additives. You don't think somebody actually put that in there? You did it, didn't you?
Very carefully, yes.
So where's JR going? Where are you going?
I don't know. Oh, you mean J.R.?
I don't mean now, but when we finish. But, you know, will JR hopefully continue? Obviously, a tremendously strong character like that. American television is notoriously quick to acclaim and equally notoriously quick to let it all go down the pike.
I'm very aware of that, sure. That's why they gave actors real strong fingernails. You hang in there, you know.
Yeah.
All comes around.
So what do you think? How much longer do you think Dallas can survive as a top-rating show?
Oh, 10, 20 years, something like that.
As little as that, eh?
As little as that, yes.
Yeah, because you've been in successful television series. I mean, was it a surprise to you when I Dream of Jeannie got taken off?
No, I was very grateful for that. Comedy is really tough to do. 5 years was quite sufficient for me. I was happy for it to go off and I could start my career in another direction. And
what made you decide to... What made you decide to play the villain instead of light comedy, which you were excellent at?
Money.
He crawled. There's more money in being a villain.
Well, there is in this villain, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
No, it's a fun part. I don't know, comedy's real hard to do. Takes a lot of... you just have to get up for it. And, you know, there are 8 stars on this show. I'm not the star of the show. There are 8 other really accomplished actors on it, and so...
Well, I think, if I may say so, that's... Yes, I would expect you to say that, but it's not entirely true. I think without JR, Dallas wouldn't have the same compulsive qualities that it has.
Well, it all goes, you see, like with Barbara Bell Geddes, she gives credence to this character because no matter what I do, she's just one of those consummate actresses who make everybody around her, it gives it validity.
Are they economizing on her shirts? Because she seems to only have 2. That's another thing people say. If the Ewings have got so much money, why is everybody living in the same house?
Boy, you got me. I'll tell you, I've asked that question a lot of times.
And another thing, the phone went one time. And Miss Ellie was up in the nursery, doing it herself, fixing the nursery herself. Miss Ellie. The phone went, she had to run down 3 flights of stairs to answer it. Would you think they'd have a phone upstairs?
Well, that's a kind of a house you don't want a lot of extensions on, that's for sure.
And another thing, just one more thing. She went in on one memorable occasion, opened up a wardrobe, and took out a wire coat hanger. Now, this infuriated the people of Britain. Because...
What kind of coat hangers you got over here?
Well, Texas millionaires ought to have fur-lined ones.
Well, you know, I really do know quite a few Texas millionaires, and of course, millionaire isn't a millionaire anymore. $1's not that much, really. But a lot of them live in trailers. You know, no fooling. I know, boy, he must be worth $150 million. He lives out in a trailer. The trailer's 40 years old, lives out there with his wife, got 1 TV set, black and white. And, I mean, some of those dudes just live like that. They don't care for money. They just like the kind of wire coat hangers.
What are you going to do when J.R., well, I mean, he's been shot. Does this mean, incidentally, that if you don't agree contracts, the next series you'll be dead?
Well, that's just a chance we're all going to have to take it.
Have they led you up the garden path on that one?
I suppose they have. It's all the gamble.
You're being a great stone face now. You're being very J.R.
You call this a stone face?
So what happens when obviously J.R. runs the gamut? What do you do then? What are your plans for your future?
Golly, I don't know. I'm an actor. I just kind of flop along, you know. Your career goes one way. Oh, as a matter of fact, I'm doing Blake Edwards' new film. I start in about 2 weeks. It's called S.O.B.
What's that mean?
You really want to know?
No.
It means standard operational bullshit.
Is that any different from the quality of the stuff I have here?
I certainly hope so.
So you're hoping to... What kind of a part will that be? Will that be a villainous, or will it be back to the light comedy again?
Well, I read it a couple of times. Well, actually, I only read it once to take the job. I don't know. I really don't like to talk about the parts until I get into it, because I actually don't know what I'm going to do. It's an interesting part. It's a real departure from what I'm playing at the moment. Yeah. A real departure. I don't know. I'm just going to have to, feel it out.
Take your clothes off, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Do you?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's an orgy.
You wouldn't like to give us a sneak preview?
Sure.
They love you deeply down in Texas, do they, in Dallas? Because I saw a cutting saying that the Texas cattle barons took grave exception, particularly to you, because you weren't reflecting the moral fiber of the great state.
That's right. That's right. If I ever did, they couldn't put it on television. No, they didn't like it when we first went down there. I mean, you wouldn't want us to do a show like this called London, would you? And so everybody disliked it, but then, of course, they watched. There's the true acid test, isn't it?
We are delighted that you took the time out to come here and talk to us.
Yeah, that's my pleasure.
You must get fed up being called J.R. Ewing, don't you? Wouldn't it be better to be Larry Hagman?
Okay.
Larry Hagman, then.
J.R., Larry Hagman, I answered everything. I mean, my head snaps around when they say J.R., that's for sure.
Yeah,
I'm always looking for something to come flying across the air.
We hope that you'll have a very, very happy stay for what remains of your stay. Thank you for taking the time. I know you must be absolutely creased.
What's that?
With the jet lag and all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Why the stick? Is that affectation? Have you got a sore leg?
Well, it's an affectation, but also I've learned how to travel over the years, and I always call for... I hate to check my baggage, because sometimes you get there and it's not there with you, So I carry on all my stuff, generally speaking. And this lends credence to the fact that I always call for one of those motorized wheelchairs. And so when they say, Mr. Hagman, your wheelchair's there, I hobble off the plane. I shouldn't really say that. I'm tipping my hand there, but...
I thought it was the boots were making you hobble.
Well, they do, too. Lord's sake, the human foot is not supposed to be like that, I mean, just go down in little pointy toes like that.
What do you normally wear?
Well, practically nothing.
That's how you got the Blake Edwards movie.
Right. Oh, I don't know. I wear karate outfits mostly because I live on the beach, and they're kind of big old pajamas. And,
well, you're pink socks at karate, aren't you?
Who? No, I'm a yellow belt. That's coward.
I'm sure it's not true. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
It's been a pleasure to have you, and I hope you'll enjoy the rest of your stay, though I'm sure it won't be a very private one.
No.
Still, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And our thanks to Frank Hall and John Wells, and thank you for joining us at this unearthly hour of the day and night. And from Friday night and Saturday morning here at the Greenwood Theatre, till the next time, good night and have a good weekend. Thank you.